Hi, my name is Bahaj Rashid. In this video, we are going to explore how we can choose between an option set or a lookup. This is a very important design consideration when you are working on a project. So let me grab my whiteboard and show you, as per my experience, what are the benefits of choosing an option set or lookup. In Dataverse, we have a data type called option sets. Option sets are a list of options or a drop down from which a user can select a particular value. For instance, on contact entity, we have a drop down or option set called gender. Similarly, on lead, we have a lead rating. On the other hand, lookups are technically not a data type but a relationship. So it's an end-to-one relationship. For example, on the opportunities, we have a lookup to originating lead. In this case, opportunity has a relationship with lead, and lead is a parent. So or you could say lead ID will be stored as a foreign key in opportunity entity. So you might be thinking like these are two very different things, option sets and lookups. These have different purposes, so why we can consider one over the other? So yeah, that's right, these are two different things, but there are design considerations or scenarios where we could choose lookup over an option set. Okay, so here on my whiteboard I have few points that will help us understand when we can choose between an option set or a lookup. So first one is about changes in the options. So whenever we have less changing list of options, it is wise to go for option set. For instance, the gender is a predefined list of options and it is less probable that it will change. Of course, we can add, there is an option to add more options, but when the changes are more frequent, especially when the business want to control it, which options they want to show and which they want to hide, they can simply, we can simply go for a lookup. So whenever we have changing data set or more frequent changes, it's wise to go for lookups. So this will also help business team to simply uh, create or remove records themselves instead of reaching out to a system customizer or a system administrator. So how we do this? So what we do, we create another entity, kind of a master data entity where we store all the options for our lookup, and we will of course add a lookup to that entity, and user can choose options from that. Whenever business want to add new records, they can add a new record to that master data entity or remove uh, a record from there. Okay, so the next one is about access control or security. So option sets do not have any kind of security configuration. There are ways you can write option set, you can write a JavaScript and um, check user role or team. Based on that, you can add or remove options using client library. But if you want to avoid that work and you prefer a low code or no code solution, you can choose lookups here also. This one, yeah. So what we can do, we can, based on the business unit, of course we can control and ownership of our lookup records. We can control what options are available to a particular user or a team. Okay, so next one is very important. This I've seen on Microsoft Dynamics community also. So what happens if you want to disable an option? So we are talking about disabling an option, not removing an option. Because let's say we have five options and business decides we do not need the fifth option anymore. So what we can do, if we remove that option, the data, existing data, will also be impacted. So wherever all the records where that fifth option is selected will now have null or empty value. There is another way, you can write a JavaScript to remove that option, but that you have to do on all form or wherever. If we consider, let's assume if it is a global option set, it is being used in multiple entities, so it will be a big change. So when we have a probability that the data will be disabled or a particular option will be revoked, we can go for lookup. So lookups will, we can simply deactivate that record, and if we have the right views selected on the lookup control, this will not show up anymore, but existing data will be fine. Okay, so last but not the least is cascading. So there is a way you can implement cascading on the option sets, but you need to configure it, and it's kind of a bit of scripting. So if you want, again, no code or low code solution, lookup is our saviors. So what you will do is, okay, let's take an example. Assume we have a country lookup, we have a state lookup, and we want to show the states based on the selected country. So what we can do, of course, we'll create two entities called country and state. We'll add a lookup of country in the state, then we add both of these lookups in another entity where we want to show these, and with just configuration of the lookup controls, we can control that the only related record in the states lookup is shown based on the country. So the cascading will be applied without coding. So this is another consideration. So yeah, I guess these are the points that I have in my mind. If you have any suggestions, please comment about it and let me know.